And for your information, that multi-agency is very well coordinated. Even the government pathologist is here, Dr. Udwar, and they are working with the director of homicide at the DCI, and they are already making sure that they recover the bodies so that the other process can continue. So we cannot get in there because of that reason, because it is still very, very delicate. But also to say at this point in time that we have a main committee at the county level, led by the regional commissioner as the chair, with the county governor of Nyeri, Honorable Mwalimu Kahiga, also who is a teacher by profession, co-chairing that as well. And then there will be a day-to-day committee here, as directed by the CS for Interior and His Excellency the President, that we will have the DCC now chairing the day-to-day operations of this whole operation. We are very keen as government, and the CS will be speaking, to ensure that normalcy returns, even so that those who need to continue learning can continue. So the DCI and the government pathologists have been here and are still conducting investigations and scientific analysis. Their tireless efforts in uncovering the truth is commendable. However, this will take time, and therefore they will continue to work diligently to ensure that the country gets the root cause of this tragedy. On the Ministry of Health, I think, let me leave, Waziri will explain further. But when it comes to the Ministry of Education, I beg your pardon, the health professionals have been on site here from the MOH, from the National Public Health Emergency Center, and their efforts are focused to ensure that all of the injured receive the necessary medical attention, and they have helped facilitate transfers and have airlifted those in critical conditions. Unfortunately, one of the boys, we lost him, unfortunately, the one who went all the way to KNH. Under the Ministry of ESL and Regional Development, we've been able, as a government, to provide the food that is required here. And it is important because that is the first thing that is required, honestly. Rice, about 100 bags, beans, 50 bags, corn soya beans, 24 kg bags, then blankets, about 200 pieces, kitchen sets, soap, sanitary pads, and what have you. And all of this, the CS for ESL's Beatrice Askul was here yesterday, and they've already been delivered. Counseling and support. Disaster response agencies, including the National Government Administrative Officers, NGAO, the Kenya Red Cross, and the National Disaster Operations Center, who are also here, are working to coordinate support for the affected parents and the school community, offering aid and counseling services. So far, 37 girls have been counseled and 32 boys as well. And this is we are still counting quite a number of parents. And the information that the Red Cross is providing is that anybody traumatized by this situation, the counselors, the 63 counselors are available for that matter. Conclusion of the investigations. While the cause of the fire has not yet been conclusively identified, the government confirms that it has mobilized all relevant agencies and continues to work diligently to conduct this investigation throughout. Those found responsible will be brought to justice, and the CS will be talking about that. The government is committed to ensuring accountability for every learner. To ensure the safety remains a top priority for the government will continue to follow through to ensure that the relevant policies are strictly adhered to. And we call upon all schools to comply fully with these regulations to safeguard the well-being of our children and prevent such tragic incidents from happening again. Once more, to the bereaved families, poleni sana na Mungu awalinde. We shall be giving daily briefings so that then we can get it in written format. So we shall release this statement shortly. But before that, allow me to welcome Joan from the Office of the First Lady to make a comment. Later. Later. We'll come at the end, yes. So Joan.
Thank you so much. I'm here to just convey deepest condolences from the First Lady of the Republic of Kenya. As you know, she's currently away on official duty, but Her Excellency is deeply, deeply grieved by this happening in our nation. And she sends her love, her prayers to the bereaved family, to the community, to the teachers, to the parents of the deceased. And Her Excellency is very keen to ensure that this matter is looked into to identify what the root cause is And as a team, she has sent us with food, over 50 bags of rice and other material support for the community, for the children, for the parents. And this is just the first support. We are here on the ground to assess the situation and to see how we are able to further help. Her Excellency is very passionate about the children of this nation. She's Mama Taifa. And so with us, we come with prayers, we come with love, we come with the condolences from the First Lady. And we look forward to just participating with all the government agencies that are on the ground. We are grateful for the immediate support that came from the different line ministries, from the county government, and we look forward to just working together to see how we are better able to support the community and the school. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Now, before I invite the governor to invite the CS, I once again want to recognize the tireless efforts of PS Belio Kipsang, who was here yesterday, and he's here today on the ground to make sure that all is well. So without much ado, ndio rafiki yangu huyu Maina asichoke kushikilia hivi vitu hapa. Karibu governor.
Asante sana msemaji wa serikali, Mheshimiwa Waziri, Mheshimiwa Migoso ambaye yuko hapa, waziri wa elimu, maofisa wengine walio hapa, Mheshimiwa Kanini Kega, Mheshimiwa MCA wa area, Joan kutoka ofisi ya Mama Taifa, mabibi na mabwana, hamjambo. Niko hapa siku ya leo kama ishara moja ya kuwa sisi tunafanya kazi pamoja kama serikali kuu na serikali ya county, hasa katika mkasa huu ambao umetupata. Na jambo moja ambalo ningetaka niendelee kuomba ni kwamba kwa wananchi wote, kwa wazazi ambao wameathiriwa, tuwapeana pole zetu na tunawaombea Maulana akaweza kuwapeni nguvu. Lakini zaidi ya yote naomba tukawa angalau watulivu kidogo, kwa sababu sehemu ambayo imebaki ni utafiti wa kisayansi na mambo ambayo yatachukua muda kidogo, pengine siku moja au mbili, ndipo hasa tukaweza kupeana idadi maalum ama idadi iliyo kamili kuhusiana na mkasa ambao umetupata. Ningetaka pia kwa niaba ya kaunti, wananchi wote wa Nyeri, nianze kwa kumpongeza na kumshukuru Mheshimiwa Rais wetu William Ruto ambaye alitutumia risala ya lambilambi kutoka jana, na maofisa wake zaidi ya mawaziri 4 wamefika sehemu hii. PS wake pia wamekuja, regional commissioner amekuwa pamoja nasi, na siku ya leo pia tumeweza kumpata msimamizi wa ofisi ya First Lady. Tungetaka tuchukue nafasi hii kuwashukuruni, na zaidi pia tumshukuru naibu wa rais kwa sababu pia naye aliweza kufika jana, na tuseme kwetu tunaendelea kuomba kuliwazwa, kwa sababu haya mambo ni magumu. Kwa wale ambao siku ya leo niliweza kupitia hospitali, kuna kijana mmoja ambaye tulikuwa tumempeleka Mount Kenya, yuko sawa sasa, nimemwacha na mzazi, na wale wengine 3 wanaendelea kupata matibabu. Asanteni siku ya leo. Pia ningetaka nichukue nafasi hii nimkaribishe waziri hapa Nyeri. Mahali ulipo hapa ni Kieni, sehemu ya ubunge ya Kieni. Ni constituency kubwa kabisa ambao ni 51% ya area ya Nyeri, na ningetaka nikukaribishe pia nikiwa namtambua Mheshimiwa Kanini Kega ambaye ni mbunge wa Iyala ambaye ametoka Arusha na kuja kuwa pamoja nasi alipopata habari jana. Kwa hivyo namkaribisha waziri. Sana waziri.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, ladies and gentlemen and members of the press. Let me take this opportunity to thank Governor, the PS, Minister of Education, for the work that you've been doing since this tragedy occurs yesterday. Let me say that once I received this morning, and I've been briefed, and let me say at the outset that the progress that with the investigation, with the issues surrounding the support, psychosocial counseling of the families and the children has been going on very well through the Red Cross. But let me pass my condolences to the family and pray for those who are in the hospital and undergoing treatment. And let me also say at the outset that this incident is not the first one in the country. This is one incident that perhaps one could say is one too many. It started all the way from 1991 when we had the first case of Changuli, and then 2000 we had St. Kizito. And these things have been going on, and every time they occur, we think that the next event will not take place, but it so happens. So as a Ministry of Education, we are looking into the root cause. We want to examine ourselves and find out what is the root cause of these incidences. And we have policies in place. We have school safety standards that were passed in 2020 that schools are supposed to adhere to. The investigation that is whether there was compliance with those rules and regulations. And perhaps as a country, it has reached that time when we look at those rules and regulations, which are policies, and find out whether it is time for us to move them a step further and make them laws, so that there are penalties that will attach, because we cannot go on like this as a country. There were between 9, I think, and 13 very young children in an environment where they are supposed to be safe, and then something happens. We yet do not know what the cause is, but whether it is an electrical fault or an act of assault, we will need to deal with it in a sense that there is a better way of resolving these issues. Opportunity to thank those who have given donations to support the community around here, so can get something to eat, and because there was a lot of pain once this particular tragedy occurs. So thank you so much, the First Lady and the rest that have contributed. We wish to thank the President also for the guidance that he has given in handling this particular crisis. As you know, there is a 3-day national mourning next week, which is also supposed to give us an opportunity to examine ourselves and find out what is it that is ailing us, that we keep getting these tragedies involving children. So it is disheartening. It's disheartening, and it's time we get a solution to it. So thank you so much. I do not want to talk much because we've agreed that there is going to be one source of information through the RC. So the updates will come from one point so that we don't have confusing information out there. But now you can have an opportunity to ask questions.
About 3 questions. Useme ni media gani na unaelekeza swali lako kwa nani? So go first. Let me be then Sikolia number 2. Who is number 3? A lady. Yes, you can ask. The 3 of you, then we can see whether we can.
My name is Daniel from Agency. My question goes to and I would like to ask how prepared are the schools in the region and in case of such emergencies? And to ensure that those measures are put in place and that they are fair to.
Okay.
Are there like emergency drills being done in schools to ensure that?
Thank you, Sikolia.
Thank you so much. My name is Enoch Sikolia from CGTN. My question still goes to the CS. You well put out safety guidelines were given in 2020. That is 4 years ago. And I remember at that particular time, the ministry went around, they did a research and found out that many schools had not adhered to. And clearly, the ministry ever did a follow-up on that, because having found that it hadn't, or most schools had not adhered to, but what followed after that? What followed?
Okay, Sikolia. Yes, Anita from BBC.
My question is, what is the contact tracing process? How are you contacting these so far from the 70?
The last question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think let me first answer, then the CS can finish. The contact tracing is being done by the DCI and the government pathologist, Anita, and the Red Cross. So,
that number.
and through number 1199. So we have figures, but they are really a difficult process because we have to match whatever we are finding on the ground with the particulars. And allow me to leave it at that. So that requires some time. So allow us to give you the only figure that we can confirm as at now is that there are 18 fatalities. But the tracing is the 1199. Some parents have already returned students as per the directed by the PS yesterday. But we are saying using GAO and number 1199, we'll also reach out so that we minimize that as a way forward, as the CS has directed. And also, please, we are asking, if you have any child there, let us account for these children so that then we do not have a situation where they are missing and we don't know where they are. So as at now, the number is 18, but the process is very protracted. It is scientific. Let us leave it at that.
You had said 26.
Number is 8.
Statement,
Yeah.
please, which was already in your.
Over 20.
Do we recover
No,
it?
by the
How
way,
do we do it?
listen, ladies and gentlemen. We have not given you the statement. We have not given you the statement. No, listen. We have not given you the statement to confirm the numbers.
Then did you
Then,
read the wrong thing?
no.
If I heard you well, Mr.
20
Spokesperson,
have been reported.
you said 20 who are missing have been found.
Yes.
At the beginning. So, and yesterday, so what we are looking at, yesterday, the
Okay,
Deputy
order.
President said- The Deputy President said that 70 were missing. So we are doing a calculation that if you say 20 have been found, we are now looking at 50 who are missing.
Now, let me explain. Let me explain. Be very careful about the number. I want to take you back to the Mai Mahiu tragedy. As I'm that there were 300 people who had died, but in actual sense there were 40. The government to come back to you with some more accurate figure as soon as the investigators give us the numbers, because right now, ladies and gentlemen, right now we only have, please order. Right now we only have our most sincere condolences. 156 boys are the ones in the room. Please, any number in between, allow us to come back to you. CS.
There's no number for
I think because
There's no
they
official
are
number.
still collating, allow them to do that exercise today. In tomorrow's update, there will be those exact figures so that you get an actual position that you can report on the numbers for tomorrow.
So his question was, because the information that is recorded here, the spokesperson began with the number 20. Do we remove it? Do we expunge it?
No, you
Because it's
how do you
already
treat
recorded.
it? Okay. Can you give me time to find that out and then I'll send you a document, please? Yeah? So the two questions that you asked are related. Whether they do drills to ensure that they are prepared, they are supposed to. As to whether or not it is done on a regular basis is part of the investigation that we are going to do. And I can assure you that part of the investigation that we are going to do is to do a self-audit of the ministry. Have we, as a ministry, been doing what we are supposed to do in confirming that these regulations and these policies are followed? So that's exactly what we are doing, and we are saying, as they investigate, as they find out what the cause of the fire was, we are also doing an internal investigation ourselves, a self-assessment of whether or not we've been doing what we are supposed to do. And if we are not been doing what we are supposed to do, we'll ask ourselves why and answer that question. It's going to be part of the report. So that exercise is being done.
What measures are being taken to ensure accountability in this particular case? Will there be anyone being held accountable?
Of course, 100%. If somebody did not do their part, they will be held accountable. And we're going to be as transparent as possible. As I said, if you recall, we cannot have this going on year after year after year after year. We have to bring it to a conclusion. If we find that the policies are there, but people are not doing what they are supposed to do because there is no penalty, then I'm prepared, under the recommendations of the working party that we are using now to do the particular reformation in the education sector, to introduce these regulations, move them up from policies into law, so that there are penalties that somebody can face for not doing what they are supposed to do, as opposed to it maybe being a disciplinary action when you are supposed to have done something, you have not done it, and people are losing life. Find that it's because compliance is not adhered to because of non-penalty, then we can move it up to become statutory. And once it is statutory, you face criminal charges for you not taking the action you are supposed to take. We cannot allow this to go on.
How binding is your word? Because we have had these statements before. Exactly the way you are putting it.
Mine is binding because, as I said, party recommendation report right now, in which we are doing changes and amending even the Basic Education Act and many other 13 pieces of law, so that we can have an education system that works, that there are no gaps, there are no blind spots, there are no organizations that are operating in a silo form. There is continuity. You see, like here we are working as a government. We should be able to act from one source, so that we know when you are not doing something right, you can't say, I'm not answerable to you because I belong to another institution. The law needs to be harmonized in a way that we know we are under one government, under one constitution. So that is what we are going to do.
And is there any support system available for learning institutions to ensure such emergencies, there's swift response to them?
Yes, I think there is, you know, like now, yesterday when the fire occurred, the county government was able to release the fire emergency team, and it arrived here 16 minutes after the fire. So the system is in place. The county works as the county commissioner, the Ngao team is in place to assist us with security and everything else. So we work as a team, and that system is there. It's available, you just need to tap into it.
Just one.
Order, please. Let us have a way of asking questions so that it's not everybody. Can we start with you, then we come to you?
Thank you.
Yes.
So my name, this is to the government spokesperson. My name is Hilary Orinde. I work with the French news agency AFP. I just want to recap the statement and ask my question with it. You say that we are on 18 dead right now, and we're in the process of doing DNA identification. We can only do DNA identification on bodies. Can you confirm to us on record here that we might still find more bodies in that building, or it's only the 18 that are conclusive and we can't find more bodies?
Yeah, thank you very much. As we were actually inside there, the DCI and the government pathologist, they are still collecting evidence and classifying it in such a coordinated manner. They need to get the coordinates of who was sleeping where, how, and how. It's a bit intricate. So we expect, if at all there are fatalities, to recover more bodies. So this is not conclusive. That is why the investigations are ongoing. And let me also clarify this, ladies and gentlemen.
So can we have it on record that the toll will go higher?
No, we can't say that. That is like wishing people to die. No, you can't say that.
What we are saying is that the process that is ongoing is such a way that they have been able, we have talked to the pathologist, to say that when they look at the body scientifically, they burnt in this particular way, and they were able to count it in 17 bodies. One died in the hospital. That is the number. Let's not speculate. Let's just go with that number now.
Exactly.
Maybe Waziri, maybe just that. But I think Waziri, we must all agree as Kenyans that these numbers represent people.
Yes.
And so even as we bandy around numbers, please let us know that those numbers represent children, boys that have parents, have relatives, and the more we haggle about numbers, the more we traumatize our people. Kindly, let's allow that the scientific, whatever that is going on, be carried on, and then we are able to give specific numbers that we can stand for.
Yeah. So I think as the governor has said, let me clarify this. Yesterday there was a figure of 70 children who had been admitted. Only 4 are currently in hospital. So that tells you the rest 66 are already out of the 156. So kindly, the rest of the figures to achieve hapo. Yes, sir.
Okay, my question was, Waziri, I believe you have toured the facility, which you have said is a cleansing. Are you satisfied on the safety precautionary measures set by the Ministry of Education?
The safety precautionary measures set by the Ministry of Education are sufficient if they are adhered to. But the challenge has been, in some institutions, they've not adhered to, and I'm not saying this institution, because we have not finished that preliminary investigation. It has to go in tandem with what the regulations say. I can't stand here and say it is not meeting, because I have to get a preliminary report from where I can say it met or it did not meet. But the provision, the regulations in existence are sufficient if they are adhered to. The challenge we've had in this country is not lack of laws or lack of policies. It is a situation where people do not follow them or flout them.
Final question.
Well, let's have yes, sir. Let's have you, and then Minor. Who else? One more. No, Anita, you've already asked the question.
That has an advocate.
Okay, then the lady. So we start with you, sir. Then the lady. Then Minor. You are the last.
Okay. Yes.
It's for her. Okay. Okay. Thank you for being gender sensitive.
Yes.
Yes. What's your media house, please, and your name? Okay. Okay. The what? What do you mean by measurement?
It is part of the investigation. Let me help him. But from it meets the 1.2 that is required. It's a proper, and it was opening outwards. But that's not the only requirement. There are many others. Please let's not speculate. The report will come out. I will be as transparent as possible with you, because I need your help in ensuring that we put these things in the right way. Exactly. So just give us time. The information is for you to be consumed by the public. So we'll be as transparent, and we've been ordered to ask the hard questions, to challenge ourselves, look internally. Is there something that we can do and do better? Where we've done better, we improve. Where we have not, we change.
Yeah, actually, Margaret, just what CS has said, those measurements can only be with the investigators. So allow them to do their work. And the CS is very keen on ensuring that he's a new CS. He's just come in. And you know, a new broom sweeps clean.
I'm lucky in that sense.
Exactly. Yes, Minor. Minor?
Okay. Now, talking about reforming the education system and going forward, we remember a while back when we had these cases, there was a proposal of banning boarding in primary school. Is it about time we consider such proposal?
That's a national conversation that we have to have. You see, what I said is, when you have a problem like this, you look at it broadly. Let us have that discussion and find out what was the purpose of boarding schools. Do we still need them? And if we do, and remember now there's something called public participation. It's not for one person to come and say we don't want boarding schools. It's a bigger conversation. But we are going to look at the whole sector and see what can be done, to, including ages. What age should we send our children to boarding schools at? These are questions that we need to ask ourselves, not just as a ministry, but as parents as well. When you take your children to school, do you check where your children are going to sleep? What, you know, these are some of the oversight, little oversight things you can do, because if you bring a child to school and you're not satisfied, you take them to a different school, the sponsors of the school will be required to improve. So all of us have a role to play, and we are looking forward and saying, because we are doing this reformation at this time, and we are asking ourselves these difficult questions, it is time that we can ask even those questions like the one you've asked, which perhaps you could not have asked a few years back.
You've talked about transferring children to schools. We are talking about good schools. There are not so many in Kenya, right?
No, there are many.
Good schools.
Yes.
I'm talking about good schools.
What is your definition of good?
There is a reason why some parents...
Kindly make your question precise, and it's the last one, kindly.
See me privately.
Okay, I think thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Governor. Tunataka kufanya hii kipapele. Kama utaitwa ita inake. Hiyo kama Malero neke. Oh. Hata wa kizungu utake unataka
ni amaloko.
Yangu nimeweka.
Wacha niongee na watu wangu.
Nikasema nikangoja utashift kwa kizungu kidogo.
Now, who am I addressing?
It's me, sir.
That's what I'm na watu wa Kikuyu.
Ndiawa.
Ikaraha twariria andu aitu Gikuyu. Gikuyu twaririe Gikuyu. Aya Githungu. Githungu giki ni kiingi muno.
Gikuyu.
Acha gutie titwelo. Titwelo hapana. Nigukwira. Thie na mbere. Thank you muno. Muthenya wa mothe turi itura riri otoria turokete ira ni undu wa gutwarithia na mbere uthuthuria uria urathie na mbere iguru ria mutino uria uratukorire, na ni wega kugweta ati timu ciothe iri guku. Umuthe turi na waziri wa githomo niwe wetagwo Mheshimiwa Ogamba, turi na mundu ugwitwo PS na mwaria wa thirikari ni magukite muthenya wa muthenya. Tungienda kuga nie muno ingienda kwariria andu aitu ndimere meyumiririe. Tuti turahota kumenya wega numbers iria ire cia andu aria twana turia tungikoo tutigite, no twaikia ritho riu ni tukinyetie 18 na no turagithii na mbere na uthuthuria. Ni tugite na ni wega twire wananchi na aciari twambe tumahe pole citu ni undu wa mutino uyu makorete, na tumere ati uthuthuria riu riothe na mbere ni wa science, na no kurikwo maundu metagwo DNA testing nigetha tuhote kumenya, tondu mwaki ucio urari muingi na ciana iria ihite undu utangicihota gucimenya na gucirora. Koguo ni tukwenda kuga tuhoe aciari aitu matuike patient gugikinya Monday tugakorwo ithuothe aria aciari tukiheo ni nako tuguthie aria matangikorwo mutonete ciana ciao. Undu uria ungi no wega kugweta ati ni turoria andu a itura riri wa mbere tukimacokeria ngatho tondu nio maguthukire na magiuka gututeithiriria kuhoria mwaki, na kuri twana tumwe ringi twaumire guku tugithie mundu akoya gake na kaonge. Aria mangikorwo mekite uguo ni turamahoya mahure thimu ya 1199 niyo ya Red Cross nigetha maripoti ati mena twana tou, na nigetha tugitara twana turia tureciria ni tuwe haria turi tukorwo tukimenya kuria twana tuikaira. Muthenya wa ira turatwarire ciana 70 thibitari ya Mount Kenya ithie igathimwo na ithuthurio kana kuri tuhetu kuri karingi korwo nondu, na twaria haria yothe marathuthurirwo no kamwe karatigirwo thibitari iyo, na ne nyuma gukona muthenya umuthe na nikega na muciari wako ni agukainukia. Ni kuri kana karari mathari ka turagatwara Kenyatta, na kwa bahati njuru muthenya wa muthe ni gatutigire. Ni hari ciana ithatu ire Kenyatta ya ino ya Othaya ira ni Kenyatta ya Nairobi, no ni kau niko gatutigire. No Kenyatta ya Othaya twina twana tutatu turathi na mbere guthondekwo, no turathi na mbere kurorwo. Koguo ndingenda guthaitha andu aitu na ndemorie ni tondu wa uritu uria uriho meterere andu aria maratumira nyamu icio cietagwo DNA government pathologist na aria angi mathie magithuthuragia nginya mari tuhe na mbere yagiriire. Na koguo ngirikia ni gwenda gucokia ngatho kuri thirikari nene ni undu wa uka kunyitanira na ithuĩ ta county tucokerie president na deputy president ngatho, ni tondu deputy president ni arokire, president ni aratutumeire rambirambi na iguru ria mothe, ona muthenya wa mothe first lady ni atumana ni tuwe mari rugendo, na tuge tuhoreria andu othe tumere Ngai amuhe hinya na mwiyumiririe mumenye thirikari ciari ni iraruta wira tukigeria guteithania maundu maria mothe mariho. Na turia ndiroigire ira mirigo eno yothe riu ni ya thirikari nene na thirikari nini ni tugukua murigo uyu nigetha tuteithie andu aitu. Thank you.